Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Colts Law. I'm Lawrence Owen, and first off, I want to apologize to everyone. All right, what's going on, FaZe? Appreciate you being here. I want to apologize to everyone. The last while now, I've had some family at the house. I've had my kids, grandkids, and stuff being here, and just a little too much noise to run a podcast, really. I mean, my house isn't exactly that large, so, any noise really echoes throughout my podcast. I apologize. But the great thing about that, now I have my home back, loved seeing my family, but now it's time to get back to talking the Indianapolis Colts. And now free agency's in the works. I mean, my goodness, you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff going down in the next couple months, especially after the Super Bowl, right? And T.Y. Hilton, as many of you know, is a free agent this year. And he jumped on Twitter and pretty much posted this right here. What's good? I miss y'all. Any questions for the ghost? Well, there was questions, and he answered a lot of them. And I wanted to go over some of those questions right here on this podcast. I thought, man, that'd be a great thing to do, right? Just sit here and share what T.Y. Hilton has to say. Some of them are controversial. Some of them are questions that everybody's got on their minds, like, are you coming back? That type of situation. Some of them are just, stuff like this right here. We got someone said, hey, my name is Mac. Asked him, milk then cereal or cereal then milk? And T.Y. answered, cereal then milk. I mean, first off, interesting question. Second off, who puts milk in their bowl before cereal? What kind of crazy thing is that? I don't understand. Why would you do something like that? Don't you got to have the milk in or the cereal in first? That way you could put the milk all over the cereal. That way if you put the milk in first, the cereal might float. Most of it might float on the top. You have to stir it up, push it in. Oh, come on. No, me and myself, I think cereal first. And I think that's just about everybody, okay? We had another one. It's pretty funny. Paris Campbell. He just laughs at it, rolling on the floor laughing. And of course, T.Y., grow up. Well, frankly, we're going to need him to grow up because Paris Campbell, not just grow up. He needs to be more healthy, right? I mean, the last couple seasons, health's really been hammered on him. Yeah, Dolphins fans. Yo, boy, Chance. Praise the Lord every day. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate y'all. All right. So let's go ahead and look at some of the other questions that was actually put out because, let's see here. Obviously, famous people, other famous Colts players. Darius Leonard. How can I be as good as you? BKA 1 tree. And of course, Hilton, you the man. 5 tree. Yeah, that's something that's going to be interesting. Socks on both feet before shoes. Yes, Brian, I agree with that 100%. Why would you put them on one at a time? I don't get it. I don't get it. That's like putting on one leg of your pants and then trying to zip it up. I don't understand. Whatever. But Darius, obviously, I'm sure Darius would love to see Hilton back in the Colts uniform this year. Let's see what other kind of stuff we got here. I'm just kind of scrolling through here, seeing what we got. An important question asked right here by Alberto Munoz. Big fan from your days at the IU Panther here in Miami. Also made me look like a fool in high school ball at preseason game at UM. Any chance we see you in Miami wearing Dolphins colors? TY here. I'm a free agent. So, yes, there's a lot of Miami, as you said here in the chat, a lot of Miami fans that want to see him in Miami colors next year. Well, I mean, that's where Hilton goes anyhow to train and stuff. So I get that. I understand that. But he's a free agent. So, and as we see here, you coming back to Indy by Ethan Fouts. We shall see. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. He did not put it out of the records, right? He did not say no or for sure. He's like, we shall see. I think it really has something to do with who the Colts are going to have at quarterback. I think he wants to, I mean, he's at that age now. He needs to be sure. He wants to get a Super Bowl ring, right, guys? I mean, that's just flat facts. He needs to get a Super Bowl ring. And if the Colts doesn't seem to get a quarterback, at least at the level that Phillip Rivers was able to provide last year, then I don't know if he comes back to Indy, even if he's offered a fair contract, because he's going to want to chase a ring. At least that's my opinion. I'm putting words in his mouth, as you know. But hey, you know, that's just the facts of the facts. Let's scroll down through here, see if I got any more. Yep. And here it is. It is answered dead on. Right here, Carlos God says, what's your next goal in football? TY replies, I need that trophy. And that explains everything right there, right? He needs to go out and get a Super Bowl trophy. He's had his opportunities in Indy so far. There's been chances where he could go out and do a lot of stuff, but they never made it further than the AFC Championship in the years that he's been a Colt. So, yeah, so we need to find out what's going on at quarterback first. And I think that's one of the big things that Hilton is actually kind of leaning on to see what happens. He's also obviously he's gonna test the market a little bit, right? He's gonna see what he's worth, and if he feels Indy is still one of his better options, and if Indy goes out and gets themselves a quarterback that he feels, or they go with a quarterback that he feels that's a good opportunity to be something this offseason, then maybe he'll sign back with Indy for a cheaper deal than what he's offered out on the free market. But right now, I think his worth, from what I've seen on Spot Track and other places, I think T.Y. Hilton's worth is right around $8-9 million a year. All right. We got another great question on here, but let me see if I got anything. You talking about the Panthers quarterback that we signed, or was that a wide receiver from the Panthers? I can't remember. I just noticed that earlier today, but I didn't really get into it hardcore. Here's a question. Favorite teammate of all time? 12. That's all you got to answer. 12. We know who 12 is, right? We know who number 12 is, favorite teammate. Obviously, Luck is his favorite teammate. He's still on a personal friend level. Personal friend level with Andrew Luck. So, yeah, he's probably got inside track on everything about Andrew Luck, whether or not he'd be coming back. I'm not holding breath. I mean, it's been a few years already. I don't expect Andrew Luck to come back. T.Y. probably doesn't expect him to come back, because if he expected him to come back, he'd probably already signed a contract extension with the Colts. So that, to me, says a lot, right? No, it's not DeMichael Harris. Come on, dude. Faye's out here just joking around saying, well, number 12 is DeMichael Harris right now. We know better, right? We know better. We know better. Let's see if there's any more down here that he answered. He answered quite a few. But I got to scroll through here. Aha! Here's one. B. Stu asked, should I get my 2-year-old a Pittman or Hilton jersey for next season? T.Y. Hilton straight up said Michael Pittman Jr. That's a little on the worrisome side, is it not? That makes you think that he doesn't have a lot of faith in him returning to Indy. He hasn't taken it off the table yet. But to me, that answer sounds like he doesn't have a whole lot of faith in that situation. And that scares me a little bit. But then again, he may just really like Michael Pittman Jr. and expects him to blossom, right? Because he had a heck of a first rookie year season, even with those couple games out due to surgery, right? I think he did a very, very solid. He had a very solid season his rookie year. So he might just be like, you know what? Maybe you should go get Pittman. And you're right. He's not exactly a selfish player. So, that could be, you could kind of lean on that a little bit. All right, let me look through here. I've seen others, but there's hundreds. There was like 700 replies in this. So I'm just scrolling through looking for responses that TY had. Generally, they're in here. Aha, here we go. Great question. I love this answer to this question too, and this question itself. If you didn't have football, asked by Michael, what would you be doing right now career-wise? And Hilton respond, basketball, trying to figure out how to beat LeBron. He's a little dude trying to thinking he's going to take on LeBron. He even got the shades on, right? I'd love to see T.Y. Hilton out there, man, shooting some ball. I really would. That'd be great. I hear he's pretty good at it. I don't know if was it his idea to bring in the ball hoop in the locker room or in the meeting rooms? I don't know. I bet he loves the fact that it's in there. So, yeah, I'd actually like to. I would love, honestly, if it's in a meeting room or something, I'd love to see someone film a game with the basketball goal and everybody playing just to watch it. I think that'd be really cool content for us guys. So if anyone from the Indianapolis Colts organization is watching this and you have a game going on in wherever that basketball goal is up, man, that'd be awesome. You know how you guys post out these videos all the time, sitting outside on the practice field as the Colts guys come out and stuff like that, things of that nature. Go out there and film one of these games that these guys are playing, inside the facility. I think that would be awesome. I'm sure I would be not the only one that would like to see something like that. Let's see if we got any more going through here. Oh, this is obvious question right here. Do you miss 12 by Will Borke? And I do. Now, it's not just like, the Colts. I mean, it's not just him. Almost all Colts fans miss Andrew Luck. But I could understand T.Y. misses him a whole lot more. But at least he gets a chance to call him once in a while and be like, hey, how's the wife? How's the kids? Or a kid, I should say. How are you guys doing? Can I come over? He probably comes over and has lasagna with him or something. I don't know. But it's nice. It's nice that at least he gets to go out there and on a personal level do things with him. Pittman might film it. That would be really good. Praise the Lord every day. That is a good answer right there. Michael Pittman Jr. has his own YouTube channel. And there's a good chance. I mean, that would be cool if he was sitting in there. How would he be filming it, though, if he's playing? Because maybe Pittman's out there playing ball with him, right? But either way, he might be the one to upload it. He might have someone that's sitting off to the side, you know. You have to join the book club to know Andrew Luck very closely. You're right. He still runs that book club, too. That is pretty freaking cool. That is pretty cool. I might actually join that. I like reading. Okay, so this one right here. Ah, that's a good one. Okay. Right here. This hurts too. Favorite player that is not a Colt by Carson Aldridge. TY says A-Walk. And technically, the same as TY, Anthony Walker is not a Colt right now. He is a free agent. But that's cool that his favorite player is Anthony Walker Jr. That is very interesting. It's nice to see that TY has such a close relationship with a guy that's a defender that goes up against him every day, you know? So, yeah, I agree. I don't know. All right, so Faye says we will most likely re-sign him. Dude, he's worth about $10 million, and we have $63 million. He's worth somewhere between $8 and $10 million a year, Anthony Walker Jr. He is solid. He could quite possibly be offered a lot more than that by a team that needs linebackers. Could you imagine? Oh, yes, I get that. Yes, he does do very well with Darius. But, I mean, I hate to say this, but if Dante Hightower does not return for New England this year, I almost put money that the New England Patriots would offer him somewhere between $12 and $14 million a year. That's just me looking at it realistically. Because there's a lot of teams out there that are in need of very solid inside linebackers. And Anthony Walker is one of the best out there. One of the best. And we got some pretty good linebackers right now. So, all right. Another good one here. Another great question by Sean. Who is your all-time favorite Colt, excluding yourself? And he posted 3. First, obviously, being Andrew Luck. And then look at the 2 numbers right here. The OG Marvin Harrison, who taught the OG Reggie Wayne, who taught T.Y. Hilton. That's a good list of numbers right there. That's a good list of names to have as your favorite all-time Colts. I think that's solid. But just saying, you gotta respect the guys that came before you that taught you how to be a good professional. And I think Reggie Wayne taught him quite a bit, probably. And obviously, Reggie Wayne learned a lot from Marvin Harrison. So that's great. I think that I love the fact that T.Y. put this out. And for other people to read and see these answers. And some of you may not have Twitter or follow him or seen this, so I wanted to share. Guys, speaking of that, please smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. And If you got a moment and you got like social media or something, please share it to your social media. I don't care. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I don't care where it is. Just share. It's a little share link right down there. I'd appreciate it very much. But moving on. Another question. Jacob Keir, will you be a Colt next year? And he said, we will find out in 2 months. 2 months. Guys, that's March. That's when free agency starts. So, and he's probably expecting to see, and that you notice something. He said in 2 months. He didn't say 3, which 3 months would be draft. 2 months is free agency. So he's expecting Ballard and Reich to go after a veteran quarterback, like they said already. You know, they said Ballard and Reich both said that they were looking to get themselves a veteran quarterback this year. It's not saying they might not get another one in the draft, but they're looking to sign a veteran quarterback. So we'll see. But he's straight up, we'll find out in 2 months. So that's definitely the beginning of free agency. And even if we get a quarterback in the draft, or we go with Eason, we'll need a veteran quarterback there as a veteran presence to help groom the young quarterbacks that are in that quarterback room. At least that's my opinion. I don't care. I would sign, even if you're not going to go with the veteran as a starter, you still want a veteran there as presence to help guide these young guys. You know, that's just my thought process. Well, here's a good one right here. Brian says there's not a lot to choose from the free agency list. That doesn't mean that they won't go out and trade for somebody, right? I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that are rumored to be on the trading block, right? Carr, you got Fitzpatrick, Darnold. You got a ton of guys out there. So you never know. You never know. I've heard a little bit about Jameis Winston, right? I mean, he is a free agent quarterback, but Cam Newton. I know you guys probably don't want either Jameis or Cam, but I'm just saying they're out there, you know. Matt Ryan has been rumored to be on a trade block. You know, I'd be okay with Matt Ryan. He's that pocket quarterback that the Colts use a lot, you know, have always kind of used pocket quarterbacks. And, I mean, they're built for a pocket quarterback, so I'd be okay with that. But I'm just saying, you know, there are a lot of choices out there, and I'm going to trust in Ballard because he has a big board, not just for the draft, but for every player out there, whether they're free agents, whether they're already playing, whatnot, and he's got them listed. And he's going to make a move based on what's best for Indianapolis for the proper compensation. I don't expect him to, like the Stafford trade. The Stafford trade, I get it. I know why Ballard, he was not. First off, Ballard didn't have a quarterback to drop in the trade to go with Stafford, let alone 2 first-round picks to go with it, right? And the Rams were like, and those 2 first-round picks probably wouldn't have been 2 first-round picks if it wasn't for the fact that Goff, they wanted to get rid of that contract, right? So they were like, hey, take Goff. We'll give you we'll give you an extra draft pick on top of that since you're taking the contract off of our hands, right, for Stafford. Now, if it had been another team, I don't think it would have been that much. But since the Lions had this ridiculous amount of cap space, they were like, screw it, you know. We're going to pay for draft picks. And that's what they did. They're like, we're going to use some of our cap space to get an extra first-round draft pick. And it worked out great for both teams because now you got the Rams with a really good quarterback and you got the Lions set up for future chances to become a really good team if they draft well. But I want to say no Pat's Jim. Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate you being here. To be fair, now he says the Chiefs, Ravens. I got you. I know you're a Chiefs fan, Ravens or Bills in Super Bowl. The Colts shoulda, woulda, coulda. I have to say it that way. Beat the Bills. They should have beat the Bills, right? They should have beat the Ravens. They have beaten the Chiefs. Just saying, over the past 2 years, they have. So I think the Colts can beat any team in the NFL, but we need to solidify the quarterback position right now. That's how I see it. All right, let's go look and see if there's any more out here. I'm still scrolling down through his tweets, man. All right. Here we go. Nicholas Evans, Xbox or PlayStation? Really? That's a question? I'll take PS all day. What do you guys think? Do you go, honestly, I go PC over both of them. All right, but, if I'm just either or, I'll take the PlayStation over the Xbox. I've got both. Well, my son has both. But I still think PC is by far the better way to go. Oh, FaZe is like Xbox. Is that by choice or just because you have an Xbox and don't have a PS? That's his question. Oh, you do have a PlayStation and don't like it. Okay. And Bray says Xbox as well. Okay. I prefer PC over both, but that's just me. Moving on through here. This is so obvious, it's not even funny. Blake Harris asks, favorite city to play in on the road? Houston. I mean, because it's not a home game, right? When he plays in Houston, or it's not an away game. It's not a road game. When he plays in Houston, that's his second home. He'd rather play there than in Miami, most likely. I mean, come on. He likes it so much. Would it be messed up if he became a Houston Texan next year? Because then it would legitimately be his first home. Oh, that would tear me up. That'd tear up most Colts fans if he became a Houston Texan next year, just because he plays so well there. Oh, good question. Reddy asks, how long have you been a Colts fan? I've been a Colts fan since 84. Okay. I've been watching football since I was probably knee-high to a grasshopper. I'm in my mid-40s. My original team was not the Colts because we didn't have a team in Indiana. I was a Bears fan, an Eagles fan. Then the Colts came in to Indy. I became a Colts fan. I've been a Colts fan ever since. It's not to say that I'm not a fan of other teams or that I didn't follow other teams. I follow every team in the NFL, more so the last few years than I have previously. I've always been solid on watching the Bears and the Eagles, but been a Colts fan since 84. Thanks for the question yourself, man. Let's see here. Oh, that's another good one. Right here, TJ asks, how are so many people still sleeping on Kenny Moore? TY, I have no idea, but let them keep sleeping, right? Let them keep their eyes closed on T.Y. Hilton or on Kenny Moore. I agree with you, T.Y. I agree with you 100%. If you guys haven't seen my film breakdown of Kenny Moore, it's on here on my channel. It's in my lists. It's in my lists for my film room breakdowns. So you can go check that out. I got a ton of them. But I agree. People sleep on Kenny Moore like crazy. People sleep on Anthony Walker too. But, that's how it works. That's why he loves both of them. So, yeah. All right, let's keep going here. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions for me while I'm going through this, don't be shy. Say something. Right here in the live chat, I'm more than willing to interact with you guys, answer questions, give you my thoughts on any takes that you have, things of that nature. I'm still looking to see if I see any more TY replies, but I'm not seeing. Here we go. This has me confused. Tony G says, where's your favorite place to be in the off season? Yeah, you. What is that? FYU? FIU? If that's Yayu. If you understand what that reply is, let me know. I might be out of the loop. I don't know what Yayu means. But that was his reply. Hopefully I'll get to know more later. Looks like that's all that we have from T.Y. Hilton. All right. Hey, I want to give a shout out real quick to my boys over there at Bring the Juice podcast for tweeting out my live stream here. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. University, okay. Okay, Harrison. Oh, that's where he went to college. Flew as Florida International. Okay. That's what I thought. I was like, FYU, maybe? But I don't know what Yayu means, so I don't know. I don't know who David Irving is. No, I don't know who he is. Have you seen the David Irving news? No, I haven't. I don't even know who David Irving is. Oh, he's got a tryout? Okay. All right, cool. That's cool. But here's the situation. Oh, and by the way, thanks, Luke, for being here. Now, the question I have, let's say we don't end up re-signing. Let's say T.Y. decides he wants to move on from the Colts, right? Oh, ex-D lineman. Oh, I know who David Irving is now. Okay, thanks. Appreciate that, Luke. Here's the thing. Let's say some other team is like, you know what? We're going to give you $13 million a year to play for us, right? And so he doesn't come back to the Indianapolis Colts. Let's say it's the Buccaneers or, Buffalo or someone like that, that need that extra little shot in order to get them a little bit past. What do the Colts do at wide receiver? Because sitting right now, your top three wide receivers, in my opinion, for the Colts then would be number one, Michael Pittman Jr., number two, Zach Pascal, and number three, I'd put Paris Campbell. And I hope to God Paris Campbell would be healthy. Now, you could put Ashton Dulin in there, because I think he'd have himself a roster spot. But do they go out and draft another one, which, from what I'm understanding, very deep, right? Again, very deep class for wide receivers like it was last year. Or do they go out and get a free agent? And the problem with that question is the biggest issue. Yeah, Patman. Des Patman could make it. Probably would. He might be a practice squad guy like he was, right? Same way with DeMichael Harris. But let's talk about Here's the deal, okay? The Colts have like 65 mil to work with. They got like 19 spots on their roster. They got a bunch of people they need to re-sign. Both the defensive ends are gone, right? Houston and Autry. At least one of them I think at least one needs to be re-signed. Got a question with, Anthony Walker. You got Darius Leonard, who's going to need an extension. You got, in my opinion, you can't let go of Mo Alley-Cox. Someone said, well, he never gets any snaps. Only 5 other people besides Phillip Rivers had more snaps than Mo Alley-Cox last year. Just because he wasn't catching the football all the time doesn't mean he wasn't on the field, right? Mo Alley-Cox was out there blocking. Our run game ran the way it did because Mo Alley-Cox and Jack Doyle are both solid run blockers and pass blockers. I think we got to re-sign Mo Alley-Cox, and I don't think it's going to cost that much. I think we could re-sign Mo Alley-Cox for, $3 or $4 million bucks. That's a good question by Harrison Height. Good question. What's the max amount you're willing to spend for TY and for how many years? If TY would be willing to play on a 2-year contract for $8 million a year, I don't want to spend more than that because that would hurt the rest of the cap space. You understand? Because of the COVID season, the next 3 or 4 years of the NFL cap space has been hampered big time. So he would have to go max, I think, $8 million, 2 years. Ain't that awesome? Look at this. I got some agreements here by Ant Rogers. Thanks for being here, guy. Ooh, interesting question. Brian, would you trade for Darnold as a backup or get Brissett back in there? Okay. I would. If Darnold was able to be traded, he's my number 1 target this year. Obviously outside of Stafford, but Stafford's gone. Darnold would be my number 2 option right now. Now, I wouldn't mind Carr. I wouldn't mind Fitzpatrick if the Colts, are really happy with Eason or, have someone back there that they believe in for the future, right? But I love Darnold. I would rather have Darnold than Brissett. Just saying. But it's obvious to me that the Colts are not sold on Brissett because they went out and got Phillip Rivers this past season. They could have rolled with Brissett. I don't think the Colts are going to re-sign Brissett. And if they do, I think Brissett's going to go somewhere else for more money. I don't think the Indianapolis Colts are going to drop a ton of money on him. So I don't think so. That's just my thought process on that. It sucks that Rivers retired. It really does. I think if Rivers stayed another year, I think TY probably would be more apt to stay. But I understand. I understand why he left. I mean, he's at that age. He wants to go and coach football for his kids. I get it. I understand. Guys, it's been 39 minutes now. I'd appreciate, please don't forget, smash that like button like it says down here on the scroll. Smash that like button, subscribe. Check me out on Sportscaster. If you're listening to this later on my podcast, Colts Law Podcast, don't forget to check me out on Sportscaster on YouTube. I really appreciate it. I'm on a road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's a big deal for me. I'm pushing 800 right now. I'm moving so slow, and I don't understand. I'm going to try to get some guys so we can just sit here and have a back and forth conversation with all of you who are watching. Get some guys that cover other Colts podcasters so we can sit here and have a discussion back and forth. And you can have more than just my opinion on certain subjects. I think that'd be a great thing to do. Good question by Ant Rogers. Do I believe any of the rumors around the Colts liking Justin Fields? And if so, what's the trade-up scenario? All right, first off, no. when it comes to rumors, Ballard is so tight-lipped about who he likes and dislikes that it's educated guesses. Okay? So I'm not believing them. Is it possible? Yes. But I'm not putting any kind of weight to the rumor at all. That's my opinion. And on top of that, I don't see Ballard trading up to the top into the top 5 draft and spending a ton of capital to do so. Okay. Because it would take as much as it took to get Stafford. It would take probably 2 first-round picks and a second or 2 seconds to get into the top 5 from the 21st pick. It would take a lot, okay? And Fields is an OSU quarterback, and their system is not good for converting their quarterbacks into the NFL. But at the same time, I haven't done as much research on Fields as what I'm sure Ballard has, okay? So if he wants Fields and he decides, you know what, I think this dude is going to be our future, fine. I'll trust him. But I don't see him selling the future of the Colts to do that, because how many times has that ever worked in the NFL? How many times has it worked where a team trades away their future? Like the next 2 or 3 years of their first and second round picks to get someone, a quarterback, to move up into that spot to get him. And then it ends up working for that team, right? They may end up with a good quarterback, but the team is sucking the next few years because they can't complement it. Because you work your team through the draft. And Ballard uses that draft to continually bring new, fresh bodies in when you have situations like you have this year where you're going to have a lot of primary guys, 8 different starters that are free agents, and you're not going to be able to re-sign most of them. You're going to have to replenish that through the draft. And if you don't have the draft to do that with because you traded away for your quarterback, that really hampers your team long term. That's just how I see it. Oh, sorry, guys. I am reading what we got here. Harrison asks, what quarterback do I see Ballard end up choosing for us to start? If he can get Darnold, he'll probably be our starter. If he ends up drafting another young quarterback to go with Eason, I could see him trying to go get someone like someone on the same level as Fitzpatrick or someone to be a mentor. But I don't know 100%. We have to see how the quarterback market ends up rolling because it's really, really tight. Hey, Joshua Jones. The Jets did it. Look how that played out. They didn't even do it that big. They just moved from the 6th to the 3rd, right? And traded away 2 second-round picks. And they have no talent around Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's probably, in my opinion, very talented. He just has no one to throw the football to and an offensive line and no running game that just sucks, right? And that's what happens. Look at Deshaun Watson, Ant. Look at Deshaun Watson. What's going on with the team right now? Okay? Deshaun Watson's a great quarterback. Great. Ain't doing jack for the Houston Texans. And the Chiefs didn't give up a lot to get Patrick Mahomes. So, just saying. Oh, man. Hold on. Mitch Trubisky, I think, okay, so here's a big thing about Mitch Trubisky. I've watched Mitchell Trubisky's tape. I've broke his film room down. I think you give that kid an offensive line and he's better. When he doesn't have to make decisions instantaneously, he doesn't look as bad. All right. Have you ever noticed that? It's when he's under pressure that sometimes he makes bad decisions. So I wouldn't have a problem. I don't think so. I don't think Darnold's value is as low as what you guys think. I think there's a lot, or Mitch Trubisky. Now, Mitch Trubisky, I think you could probably get Mitch Trubisky for like a third-round pick. Maybe a third-round pick because of what the situation's been. I think Darnold is on a worse team than what Mitch is. And people realize that and realize that Darnold has had no help at all. And I think there could be a bidding war for Darnold. I think it's possible that Darnold could end up fetching like a late first-round pick. I think it's very possible if there becomes a little bidding war for Darnold. Just saying. Quite possible. Interesting question by Harrison. Is there any shot we end up with Jameis? I'm worried about the realistic quarterback options that are actually available. That's possible too. Here's a little something for you about Jameis. The one knock on Jameis Winston is interceptions, right? That's the one knock on Jameis Winston. And most of his interceptions because of down the field throwing, right? Well, that happens with all the quarterbacks that was under that specific Bruce Arians, right? Andrew Luck was known for interceptions because of Bruce Arians. That style of offense. I get that, it was only 1 year, but it was still that same style of offense, okay? Whenever Arians is a down the field shooting type, and Frank Reich's completely different. He's like, you know what? Take the high completion percentage, quick out passes. I would take a flyer on Jameis if it ain't too much. I would. I wouldn't make him my guaranteed starter, but I'd take a flyer on him. Tiddles just came in. Thanks for joining. He asked about David Irving as well. Again, I haven't done any research on it. It just came out. I haven't really looked too much about it, so I can't really answer for that. Just saying. I'm sorry about that. You know what, guys? I'm going to let you know. I'm going to start, since I've got my live streams back and I'm doing these podcasts now, I'm going to be doing them more than just on Fridays, okay? I'm doing my film rooms for Dear Pats Nation as well, not just myself, but I'm doing it for Dear Pats Nation as well. They asked me to help them out, and I am. And outside of the extra work of doing that, I'm going to start going live like I am today, right? I'm going to do that. Ant Rogers. Anybody you like for the Colts this year's draft? I really like the tackle from North Dakota State University. He reminds me of Joe Haig, play swing tackle. Isn't that funny? It didn't Haig come from college like that? But anyhow, I haven't really done a lot of college research yet. Okay, I do my college film right after the Super Bowl is when I start diving into those college films. Okay, and so you'll start seeing a lot more of that here pretty soon. And I'll start breaking down players that I like really, really soon. Whether or not I like them or whether or not, you're hearing a lot like I'll probably check out Mac Jones, okay? Because you're hearing his name with the Colts in the draft more and more, okay? So that's a situation that you'll expect to hear from me later on in the future. I don't watch a lot of college football, during the NFL season because I'm so entwined with the NFL. It takes up too much of my time. So I really break down into the film after the Super Bowl's over with. Yes, 100% agree. Oh, can't wait until free agency. The mock drafts will make more sense. That's true. Your teams will start to fill out more after free agency. Pins and needles on the quarterback thing. I'm not really pins and needles, Brian. I know that Ballard is going to do what he needs to do to fill that position, whether it's short term or long term. If you're going out to get a quarterback right now, if you're going to draft a quarterback right now to go with this young team, you can't expect a young quarterback to lift your team up higher. Even, let's say, for some amazing reason, they're able to move up for free and got Justin Fields. He's not going to elevate this team past what Phillip Rivers gave him last year because he's not going to. Rookie quarterbacks generally do not have great seasons, period. And that's just facts. Even Joe Burrow this past season, not good. He was okay. He had a good offense, but man, his yards per attempt was awful. I mean, he almost never threw past 5 yards. Tua, another one of those guys. Not exactly a great season. All right. That was Fitzpatrick that did most of that damage for that team over in Miami. So that's my thought. I would really like a good veteran quarterback, even if they do go out and get another quarterback with Eason in the draft. It's just my thoughts. Definitely doing that. Definitely going to be looking at the Senior Bowl, as Ant Rogers suggests. I will be going over the Senior Bowl tape because they go through that a lot. I'm also going to be checking out some of the CFL stuff because I'm hearing rumors of some guys over there in the Canadian Football League that might be interesting. So I'm going to go check that out as well. Do I think J. Will 501, thanks for joining the stream, by the way. Do I think the Ravens will trade Orlando Brown Jr.? Ooh. I would not think so because I think that they need to keep that offensive line for the offense that they run, right? They need to keep that offensive line together. This, as soon as you start picking your offensive line apart, that's when your run game really starts to take a dip. So I wouldn't if I was them. It's a good question about another free safety. Now, if Hooker will sign cheap, fine. But I don't think he's going to sign cheap. I really, really don't. There's guys out there right now, even with his injury history. I think there's teams out there that's looking at guys like Hooker and say, you know what, we're willing to take a chance on you. We'll give you a chunk of money. I think Hooker's going to end up signing a decent deal with another team. I really do. Interesting. I really don't think we would trade up for Fields, but yes, I think that we need to grab a Trubisky or a Fitz or even Darnold, because Darnold's a veteran quarterback, you know? So we'll see. I mean, he's out of his rookie contract, so he's a veteran. You know, just like Malik Hooker, just like Anthony Walker Jr. It seems like they just started playing 2 years ago, but they haven't. They're going into their 5th year. So Harrison, yes. I think that I like Galladay. I like Godwin. Okay. I do. I don't think the Colts can afford either one of those receivers because of how much they're going to demand on the open market and how much cap room we have with the amount of players we have to sign. I don't think that he's going to go out and grab one of the big name receivers out there in free agency. He could prove me wrong. I just don't think it's going to happen. Devin Ward says his thoughts on Jalen Morton, even though he will be our second backup and compete with Eason for second string because we'll probably get Darnold for the Jets. As for Darnold, I'd be all good with going after Darnold. As for Jalen Morton, I think he's a camp guy. I think Jalen Morton is a camp guy. He may not make the 53. He might be one of those guys that if he shows promise, I think he'll probably be practice squad material. I seriously think that Eason will be sticking around for a little while. So just saying. I don't know if we give our 21st for Darnold either. I would rather go second and fourth rather than go 21st because I think that 21st pick carries a little bit of weight. And I think that Ballard could use that for something else if he needs to. Just my thoughts. Guys, I've been here an hour. I appreciate all 14 of you watching live that I see right now. Please smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I will be uploading more videos, and I will be going live more often than just 5 o'clock, as you see here on a Tuesday. But I'm going to have to end this. I haven't eaten yet. Again, I usually have one meal a day, and that's about 6 o'clock. And guess what? It's about that time. So thank you all for Carl Lawson. Sorry, guys. Please. I'm done. I'm done with the answering the questions right now. I thought this was a good stream. It was great that we went through the T.Y. Hilton stuff. Love the questions. Please, guys, keep an eye out for me. Hit that notification bell so you're notified next time I go live or when I upload a video. But for now, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. And as usual, I want you to have a good one.